The last time I met my father, I remember a big hall with a big wall at the back and a tiny door on the back wall, which was a door they were bringing in the prisoners. He was sitting there. My father's born in 1951, is 66 years old. He went to school. He graduated from a psychology program, and then he was trained as a social worker. He was working for a government at the time when the revolution happened, and he really loved what he was doing, but he was let go from the job because the regime called it, quote unquote, the cleansing. And as a result of that, Baha'is were among the groups that were arrested and kidnapped and incarcerated and killed. Baha'is were expelled from their jobs, their schools, their positions. Their properties were seized, and all of a sudden they experienced a different life. It was a tough life which they had to get used to. I remember moving from home to home and looking for a safer spot, but he always looked up on some other goals. To serve the community was basically the goal of his life. So the room was empty when we went in. He was sitting there, and two intel agents were sitting on few rows over, far enough to be out of the visit, close enough to hear us and see us. My father stood up and greeted us, and he had obviously lost a lot of weight, and so he stood up, but he didn't move forward. So we went there, we greeted and hugged, and we sat there, we chatted for a few minutes, and then the time was up. He wanted us to leave the room first before they take him away. But before we left the room, those agents forced him to stand up and leave. They urged him to walk, and then I saw him. He was just dragging his foot behind him. So I could guess what had happened. So for the last time, he turned back, and our eyes met, and that was it. My name is Na'eem Tavakkoli. I am the son of Behrouz Tavakkoli, who's been held in prison since 2008 because of being a member of the Baha'i community.